What's up, guys? It's Wolfgang back with another Dorkfish review, and today we are going to review the Marvel Legends Marvel Rivals, Venom and Jeff the Shark. Let's get to it. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably already know exactly what Marvel Rivals is. Just in case you don't, it is a superhero-based kind of shoot-'em-up game, kind of like Overwatch, but for Marvel characters. So this was an anticipated 2-pack from the line. Moon Knight, obviously, is another one I'm looking forward to. I've seen the Spider-Man set, although I don't think I'm going to get that one. I know there's one other out, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now, but either way, this was the one that I was excited for, and I am happy in some ways and pretty disappointed in others. We're going to cover all of that right now, but first we're going to start with the box and accessories. Alright, and for the box, you've got a nice, lovely open window, Marvel Legends branded on it, Marvel Rivals right there in the front, Jeff and Venom's name. Jeff is on the side of the box here. Venom is on the other side. And then you've got the back. And it's great. Anyone notice that we've got a lot of... Oh, Punisher. That was the other one, by the way. I couldn't remember. Anyone notice we've got a lot of video game toys being released here recently between the Ninja Turtles and Marvel Legends and all that? Yeah, just a thought. But anyways, that's all there is to the box, so let's get on to the accessories. Now, for accessories, Venom comes with what you see on him, the two fist hands and the standard head. Not the best of the heads by any means. His second head is magnificent. Right here, the one with the tongue. And I like that they use a glossy plastic on the tongue to give it a sheen. But this head is better sculpted and better painted. In addition to that, he has these two kind of clawing hands, and I like them. They're nice and clean. That's all there is for Venom. Now, for Jeff the Land Shark, he's got two heads, the one that you see on him, which is the only articulation he has. His second head, and it's a big head. It's heavy too. And he has his surfing underground effect, which looks pretty good. It's a nice clear plastic. I like that. Looks really good, but it doesn't quite lay even on the ground. So a little bit of warping there. Could probably be fixed with a heat gun. And then I guess maybe you would count his collar with name tag, but other than that, there is no other accessories to the figures. And it's fine. I'm okay with what we got. I don't have a problem with it at all. Now, let's go ahead and get into aesthetics. Now, as we get into aesthetics, we're going to also go ahead and cover Jeff's articulation because he only has one part that moves. So we're going to start with Jeff, then we're going to put Jeff aside, and we'll talk about Venom basically the rest of this video because Venom is really what the video is about. So Jeff, for the most part, looks fantastic. A lot of paint issues. This is something I'm going to bring up on both of them. See the painting problems there, scuffs across his face, across the legs, the bottom of his feet not being painted, and paint spotting all the way across this figure. And probably with an X-Acto knife, I can clear those things off to get it a little cleaner. So moving the collar out of the way, for Jeff's articulation, it is one giant ball joint. Rotates all the way around and holds decently enough. It's a little floppy, but holds well enough. And when you put the collar on, it really kind of covers that up and helps it hold a little better. So that's all there is to Jeff. So we're going to move him off. Also, right quick, get a closer look at that. And the color is very well done. I like it. So we're going to move Jeff off to the side. And we're going to talk about Venom. And boy, howdy, does he have a lot of good things going for him. His musculature is great. He has an imposing look. He's got great size, great weight. The tendrils are pretty cool. Although I don't really like how this is just sitting around the back, just flopping around. This part doesn't make sense. But great musculature. No shadowing, no shading in the figure at all. Pretty matte. But that's fine. I do like that it's matte instead of glossy. But as you get up close on him, you can see, and it might be a little tougher under these lights, but there are paint inconsistencies. Paint missing the mark or missing in spots. If you look at, like right here on the rib cage, paint issues. There's also some sort of gunking or plastic issues on the ribs. Tons of just paint overlap from where the white paint is thin on the shoulders. And then when you see the two lines overlap, it creates a harsh yellowing. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but there, in these lights you might not be able to, which is fine. But I assure you, they're there. Some paint speckling across his neck and other spots from where they just missed the mark. On this other head, you can see on the jaw there, and in some other spots, possibly you can see it, like right there. It's a little tougher, but where they messed up the paint on the head there. And other reviewers have the same consistent issues with paint not being right on this figure. It is a problem you'll notice in person. I'm sure it sounds like I'm complaining and it's nothing here, but when you get it in person, you'll see it. And I'm trying not to make a big deal out of it, but I also am, because at the price point, it's really bad paint work and really bad QC work for the amount these figures cost. When a regular Marvel Legend at the $25, $35 limit usually turns out significantly better and has usually way more paint or way more things going on. Now, that being said, again, the musculature is great. The cuts on the joints are fantastic. Everything looks good. Probably the biggest thing to note that is going to be aesthetically upsetting is this is a softer plastic. So if you can see, it's going to gouge up your plastic moving it around these hips. These hips cut in super hard. So if you look, there's some scuffing right there and across the thigh here. And that's just where this figure eats its own thigh up at the top from the hip joint. So just something to think about when you're posing them around. You will make marks and scuffs. Other than that, this head is fantastic. Like I said, I like the tendrils, although I don't like the one part super long hanging around the back. It does nothing for it when you pose it. So there's some things I like that they tried, and there's some things that I wish they would have done better. So it's not horrible, but not perfect. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move into articulation. For Venom's articulation, they did a double ball joint, and they did the cut in the back of the neck, which does look ugly. But it's similar to the Gamerverse PS4 Spider-Man, I think, is what they did that with the first time. And I think they've done it with a few other Spider-Man. I'm not a big fan of the cut in the back of the neck, but I do understand why they did it, because with it, you can turn his head, no problem, move it around, but you can also get the head up that far. So, not horrible, especially when you're moving it forward, you're not going to see it, and you don't really see the joint here. So it's not bad when you got them looking up, but looking down from behind, you're going to see that. So, just something to note there. Shoulder goes up past the normal T, all the way around, no problem. Much like Hulk, floating bicep. Single jointed elbow goes to 90, rotates at the elbow, no problem. Normal pin and hinge wrists, moves no problem. This torso moves forward fine, moves back okay. I like that they did stuff up into it, but they kind of missed the mark. This should have just been a straight line up. I don't know why they didn't do that, because it is a straight line in the back. But yeah, he moves back far, moves forward, only okay. Side to side, all right. Turns, no problem. Turns at the hips. Legs kick out. Legs go up only that far. You can turn this and twist it out a little bit, but you're going to start carving into the leg if you do that. Double jointed knee. Calf rotation. I'm not a big fan of calf rotation. Personally, even boot swivel, I don't really care for. Ankles that far down, really good. Ankles up, really good. And then a good ankle pivot. Let me just pose him up while we're talking here. Yeah, I think he is fine for articulation. They probably could have done the torso a little better, the upper torso. And again, aesthetically, that neck is ugly. but it does the job. He moves pretty well in terms of that. I don't have a lot of complaints. He's a bigger dude. It's the Matt Gargan Venom, I believe is what it is, right? That it's based off of. So it's a bigger dude, so I'm okay with him. Aesthetically, he's imposing, and he's got enough articulation to get in poses you want him in. He's not going to do a super low crouch, but you don't need him to, I don't think. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and see how he measures up in a size comparison. All right, and first up, we have him next to the SH Figure Arts Gamer vs. Spider-Man, and I actually like that scale a lot. Jeff is in there as well. I think he looks good. And then I also put the Collect and Connect DC Classics Bane in there, and I think that's a good scale too. I think those work. And next we have him with the Gamer vs. Marvel Legends Juggernaut and the 2003 Super 7 Shredder. And these scale great. I love it. And I'm bringing this video to an end with some final thoughts. I think overall I like them. The price point is a bit high on them for the paint issues you run into, and the fact that we're saying that Venom is a $45 figure and Jeff is a $30 figure, kind of how they're looking at it. It's not, that doesn't line up. You don't get enough out of Jeff for that to make sense. So you're really paying mostly for Venom, and yeah, it's not, the paint work and the QC issues they do have is not worth that price point to a degree, but I do like having him. I think aesthetically he looks great. He's big and imposing. He moves well enough. I got some great photos out of him already. So I'm going to recommend him, but just at the caveat of knowing how much it's going to cost you and what issues you can run into. There are going to be QC issues. Yeah, so just be aware of that. But if you're okay with all of that, this Venom is great. I know Blocky did the figure as well, and I've heard great things about both Blocky's Jeff and Venom, so I might check those out. You probably should too, just in case. That being said, I'm going to bring this review to an end. Like, comment, please share, comment down below. Tell me your favorite Venom figure. I have the Lethal Neighbor coming, and I will compare the two when he gets here. But until then, thank you for watching. My name is Wolfgang, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.